This video response is going to go out to Andrew Wyatt and to anybody else who wishes to listen to me. Approximately 6 months ago, I uploaded a video entitled My Further Response to Marijuana. This was a video response from me to Andrew Wyatt, who was promoting the legalization of marijuana. In my video, I stated a case against legalization of marijuana. In that video, I then said that there would be a part 2 to that. And today became part 2. Why? Because Andrew Wyatt sent a hyperlink to me, which turned out to be an article entitled Stoners Have Better Cognition Than Non-Smokers. Now, I read through this article and I paid close attention to everything it said, including at the very beginning of the article, there is a bunch of words written in green. Now that turns out to be a hyperlink. I clicked on that hyperlink and it sent me to yet another article entitled Marijuana Users Have Better Cognitive Skills, Study Finds. Now reading through this article, I found out that I should go to the Journal of Clinical and Experimental Neuropsychology. Boy, that's a mouthful. Well, the thing is, I don't have $40 to buy the article. If I did, I would. But I don't really need to, because this article said two things. Number one, only 35 people between the ages of 18 and 20 were studied. Okay? Now, anybody that knows modern statistics knows that that's a pretty low number for those being studied. Now, but that's not the really important part. Okay? You might think that's important, but there really isn't. Okay? Now, these people had been some of them actually have been using marijuana since before the age of 17. Okay? Now, even that's not that important. Here's what is important. If you go down to near the end of the article, they talk about discrete impairments. And they were talking about motivated decision-making, engagement, and verbal memory. And what are these things? And what were these impairments? That's what's important. Okay. Now, before I get into an in-depth discussion of this, I want to let you know that I have some hyperlinks down below. The very first one is the one that Andrew Wyatt sent to me that started this entire video. Okay. The second one is the hyperlink that the first article sent me to. Okay. Now then, what about the third one? The third one involves verbal memory. Why are we going to talk about this first? Well, you're going to understand that. You're going to comprehend that really quickly. Okay, what is verbal memory? It is not when you sit there and you memorize a whole bunch of vocabulary words. It is when you are successfully able to access all that information. Remember, you've now memorized these words to now be able to access this information effectively so that you can convey your thoughts and ideas effectively. Why is that important? Well, let's say you are a doctor and you want to tell a pharmacist a particular medication that this patient needs to be on. Okay? You need to effectively convey which medication this patient needs to be on so that they can get better and not worse. Now, if you're not able to convey that effectively to the pharmacist may fill an erroneous prescription, which in turn could actually harm the patient rather than help the patient. Let's talk about construction. If you are not able to effectively communicate how a house is supposed to look and how it's supposed to be built, it may be built incorrectly, it may not be structurally sound, and it may end up collapsing. Or it can end up with a lot of other problems. See what I mean? Even in factory work. Let's say you're in an automobile manufacturing facility. If you don't convey your thoughts and ideas from the design team to the manufacturing team, then the automobiles may not be produced correctly, and then that could put the drivers in some serious peril. See what I mean? That's verbal memory. Being able to access the right words at the right time so that you convey your thoughts effectively. And that was the first thing that was being impaired. Now, what is the second thing we're going to talk about? What's the second link down here? Well, I'm going to tell you what that is. It's about engagement. Because engagement is far more than just communicating. It's also having empathy for the people you're communicating with. Okay, so you're not only communicating effectively, but you're being able to have empathy for the person that you're communicating with. And then on top of that, there is this method of reflection. Okay, so now you have this ability to listen to the other person and to reflect on what that other person is saying to you. This is impaired in people that are smoking marijuana on a regular basis. The article says so itself. Now, how is that bad? Okay, well, if you are incapable of realizing how bad the other person's situation is, that could be a pretty big problem. Again, let's go back to the doctor. The doctor is sitting there. He is listening to his patient. If he does not show empathy towards his patient may think he doesn't care. And so the patient then finds another doctor. 2, let's say the patient is trying to convey symptoms to the doctor. If the doctor cannot reflect on what the patient is saying, he may make a misdiagnosis. Could end up sending the guy to surgery when he really doesn't need it. Or may not send him to surgery when he really does need it. See what I mean? Maybe the doctor's not able to effectively recognize that the guy is about ready to have a heart attack. Or that he has diabetes. Or something like that. See what I mean? So this is also impaired in marijuana patients. Now, number 3. We also have motivated decision making, which is the third link I'm going to have down here below. What is motivated decision making? Okay. Why do you pursue a higher level education? Well, because I want to get higher employment. Well, why do you want to get higher employment? So I can make more money. Why do you want to get more money? So I can live better. The fourth part, the living better, okay, to improving your lifestyle, that's your real motivation to get into education. See what I mean? The real reason why you want to get a good education is to improve your lifestyle. To have a healthier lifestyle, a happier lifestyle. That's your real motivation. Obtaining a higher paying gainful employment is not your real motivation for getting the higher education. The real reason why you want that higher education, like I said, is to improve your lifestyle. That is motivated decision making. So the key word is motivation. What drives you to do the things you do? Well, that's impaired in marijuana patients, and this Leaf Science article clearly says that. How much impaired? I don't know. I didn't study those 35 people. And I'm sure if we did a broader base study, we could find out just how impaired that would be. Okay? As a matter of fact, the Leaf Science article warns that further research needs to be done on this situation. Because what good is the other cognitive skills that you're going to gain if you can't convey your thoughts effectively, and you can't engage with people effectively, and you lose your motivation? Those are some serious problems, and they do need to be addressed. So, until all of those things are addressed properly, marijuana should not be legalized. See what I mean? And quite personally, I think that the Journal of Clinical and Experimental Neuropsychology should make their article free so that people can get the right idea of what was really going on in that study. I would really like to have a more detailed account of what's going on. If anybody wants to send me a more detailed account, let me know and I'll let you know how to send it to me. Okay? But I think people should really read that article and see what it's really saying. because there's a little more to the story than I thought. Alright. This is Ted the Speed Learner signing off. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.